Alright, y'all. So we gonna dive into this Big U situation, man, and we gonna, really get real about it, man, because everybody got their say so, and everybody got their own opinion about certain stuff that goes on in people areas, you know what I mean? So this is coming from Law and Crime, and I always watch Law and Crime, y'all. I'm pretty sure some of y'all do too. Law and Crime is one of the realest uh, TV stations that's out there that can give you real facts about people's cases when they get charged with certain crimes that they have done or that they have been committed of. So, with that being said, man, we're going to dive into this. We on Law and Crime, y'all. I'm going to give my own opinion about the Big U situation, y'all. And I'm going to also give y'all some feedback on this because I'm not a rookie to federal investigations and the federal prison system. So I want y'all to just know that, y'all. So let's go. Let's dive into this.
Now, to stay up to date on all the latest celebrity scandals, click the link in the description of this video and subscribe to Scandal today. So back to this story. The indictment against Big U is more than 100 pages long. Now, in their case, the feds say he ran a mafia-like enterprise. He's accused of murder, kidnapping, embezzlement, robbery, and extortion. And that's just to name a few. Now, Big U claims he's innocent, but if he's convicted on these charges, he's facing the rest of his life in prison.
I just need y'all prayers. I need y'all to... I don't even know what to say.
Big U seemed to be on the right track after an earlier stint in prison. He turned himself into a community activist, specifically an anti-gang activist. He reportedly helped launch Nipsey Hussle's career. He was a music exec, so it seems like he was doing a lot of good. But according to the feds, while he was playing the role of community peacemaker, really he was an active gang member for the 60s Crips. And not just an active gang member, he ran it. So the investigation was years in the making. According to his complaint back in 2021, an FBI task force launched their investigation into his alleged criminal enterprise and its association with the Rollin' 60s Crips. The feds claim Big U's association with the gang has been ongoing since the 80s, where he earned the reputation of being an enforcer. But here's the
Alright, y'all. So I paused it right there, right? So they're saying that Big U has been with the Rollin' 60s since the 80s, and I'm pretty sure he was a part of that in the 80s. When you join the gang and you're affiliated with a gang, excuse me, that's that's what comes with it. It ain't no hiding that. You know what I mean? Let's not get on the internet and do podcasts and start faking about where we come from or what we doing. Now, they saying that he was still an active member at his age, and if you ask me, I would say was not an active member. I would say that he was still affiliated with some people over there, but I wouldn't say that he was an active member. If you ask me, an active member is someone who's still down to do crimes and still down to basically put in work for your crew and all that. So, I mean, if you're going to put Big U in a situation to say that he's still part of the Crips at his age, then that means that goes for damn near any gang member who feel like he's not active anymore, but still hang around certain individuals because he grew up with them or something like that. They're just putting a face on every member. So y'all need to raise attention to that too, man. And for y'all members out there who say y'all not active anymore, and you're probably not active anymore, but let the law tell it you're still active, and you never have turned down since you start being from the set when you first started with the crew. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I don't think that he was active. Like I say, I still think he had hang around certain people in that area. So we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna keep going.
the thing. They claim Big U ran his enterprise separately from the Rolling 60s. For example, the indictment says Big U's enterprise purported control of Los Angeles. Individuals, including professional athletes, musicians, and others who came there for business, were required to check in. So what does that mean? Well, according to the feds, the check-in included payment to the Big U enterprise, as well as requesting permission from Big U himself to conduct certain activities, including acts of violence that were sanctioned by the Big U enterprise. The indictment even points to an appearance Big U made on the Nothing to Something podcast, where he stated if you choose not to check in, you suffer the consequences. Another example the indictment points to is the attempted murder of...
I just got paid $60,000 for my car crash from using this app on my phone. And I don't know if you can see this, but it's
rapper Quando Rondo. You know, the alleged murder for hire plot that has rapper Lil Durk locked up now. According to Big U's indictment, Quando Rondo didn't check in, and as a result, his cousin was killed. Federal agents allege while Big U's enterprise has a history and reputation to control LA through violence, fear, and intimidation, Big U simultaneously attempted to create an...
Alright, y'all, so now we're gonna pause again, y'all. So we're gonna keep it going. It's just, she said that Big U basically, and I'm giving y'all, these are facts, y'all. I'm giving y'all real details about on how stuff go and how out-of-towners come to California, to the Los Angeles area, or for wherever you come from, and they use the, you have to check in. You don't have to check in with anybody, y'all. When the people use that term check in and other people listen to it, you guys probably thinking about when they say check in, they mean, you know, you gotta come on our side, and because something might happen to you or something like that. That's not what people mean by check in. Some people mean check in to let you know, like if you're not from out here in California, sometimes they will say, well, check in with us, because let's say if you're wearing the wrong hats or the wrong clothes, or you're in the wrong area or something like that, and you and something happened to you, they can just give you, you know, tell you where and where not to go out here, so that you could be more safer and know your way around the areas and stuff like that. They don't mean check in like, oh, you have to check in or else, because that's how law and crime associates that's speaking on this situation is making it seem. They're making it seem like if you don't check in, then we're going to check you out. Something's going to happen to you. That's how they're making it seem. So I want y'all to know that when they say check in, that does not mean that. Check in means, hey, if you come to us, we can let you know where you're safe at and where you're not safe at, because it's a lot of gangs in the Los Angeles area. That's all they talking about, man. At the same time, you don't have to check in with anyone, and if something was to happen, then they're just letting you know, like, hey, if you would have checked in with us, we could have let you know, like, you know, don't go over here, or don't do this, or don't do that, or don't wear this, or don't wear that. That's all that check-in was about, y'all. So don't get it misconstrued about what check-in mean, because they're giving a whole different meaning about what check-in means, y'all. So let's keep going.
Air of legitimacy. How? By promoting himself as a reformed gang member who focused on bettering his community through his nonprofit like Developing Options. And it appears Big U was doing good for his community. It began in 2004, and essentially the organization had a mission to decrease gang activity and empower the kids that lived in LA. But here's a big problem. Federal agents allege he embezzled money meant as a charitable donation and used the nonprofit entities to fraudulently apply for government assistance and loans. So I gotta mention here, obviously, when you're accused of running an enterprise, you probably can't do it alone. Big U isn't the only defendant in this indictment. The feds named Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay, Mark Martin, aka Bearclaw, who according to the Developing Options website is the vice president of the organization. The indictment also names Tremaine Williams, aka Loose Cannon, Armani Affalage, aka Monty, Frederick Blatton Jr., and Tiffany Hines. So Big U, Vay, and Bearclaw are accused of RICO conspiracy. Loose Cannon is accused of interference with commerce by robbery. Armani F. alleges accused of transportation of an individual in interstate commerce with intent that that individual engage in prostitution. Meanwhile, Frederick Blanton Jr. and Tiffany Hines are accused of bank fraud. The indictment alleges Big U, Vay, Loose Cannon, and Bear Claw committed and arranged robberies to enrich the Big U enterprise. It alleges Big U, Vay, and Bear Claw extorted individuals in LA for purported protection. It also alleges Big U defrauded various companies, donors, athletes, and celebrities. So another example is Big.
All right, so we're gonna pause it right there, right? So they're saying he defrauded a lot of companies and businesses that he had, y'all, and that his organization that he was running for charity and stuff like that, he was keeping the money. Now I don't know that situation, y'all. All I can say is that he's not the only one that probably who makes a lot of money per year and tries to keep his hands in the cookie jar sometime, and try to get away with his twos and fews just like a lot of other people do, y'all. And you have to ask yourself, and I'm like I say, I'm just being totally real with y'all. You know what I mean? Because was he being targeted for who he was? Because there are a million guys and women out there just like him who probably does the same thing he does, and sign for organizations and get donations and stuff like that, and probably keep stuff for trips and keep money here and there, and they never get brought up. No attention is never brought up on them, and it seems like it's always just certain people in the limelight. That's all I'm saying, yo. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right. You know what I mean? What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. Hey, if you done something wrong, you done something wrong, bro. But all I'm saying is, was he being targeted and watched for everything that he does, and they were just waiting to catch him to do anything, versus other people just getting away with it, period, point blank, and nothing's coming their way. You understand? So does this rule apply for him, or just people like him? Or does it apply to everybody? I think y'all know the answer to that. So let's keep going.
Big U is accused of pocketing more than $100,000 in donations to developing options. According to the LA Times, in August of 2019, NBA star Draymond Green donated $20,000 to the nonprofit. But Big U allegedly embezzled that donation by putting it into his personal checking account. Shaq also donated $20,000 to the organization and the Crenshaw Rams youth sports team, but most of that money also went into Big U's personal account. According to FBI Special Agent Andrew Russa, the LA Mayor's office is supposed to oversee the program, and they should have rejected developing options. Now, why would they reject an organization intended to do good? Well, because each contractor needs to pass a lot of requirements, like background checks, training, approval of employees, stuff like that. But according to Agent Russa, developing options failed to do that. He wrote, quote, "Based on my review of documents in the course of this investigation, developing options appears to have failed to comply with some or potentially all of those requirements." So that's a lot, right? But Big U is accused of more than just that, like murder and dumping a body in the desert. According to the indictment, on January 20th of 2021, a rapper only known as RW recorded a diss record. And who was he dissing? Big U. Referring to Big U as bro, that makes some money. And that unnamed rapper may get shot in the face for thinking that his use of the studio and representation by Unique Music is funny. But the track was eerie given what happened next. Just days later, the rapper was shot in the face. But it's unclear if Big U heard the lyrics before the murder. Federal agents allege Big U was the only one with the motive to murder RW. So what exactly happened? Well, according to witnesses, RW was in Vegas, and who else was there? Big U and Vay. Investigators noted Big U's phone location data and witnesses showed he arrived to Vegas at an Airbnb. On January 24th of 2021, Big U arrived to a studio and RW was there, recording until around midnight. A little after 12:30 a.m., Big U left the studio and his phone stopped reporting his location. About 45 minutes later, surveillance.
All right, y'all. So there you have it, man. Now it's we starting to get a little deeper, right? And we starting to go deeper, and they're claiming that Big U had something to do with a young man's life being taken over some rap some rap lyrics that was put out there, and that it was a diss at him, and I guess it was aimed towards him to diss him. And with that being said, they're saying that the consequences for that was the murder of the young man, and that's what led to his murder, y'all. So, I mean, I have no clue about that. I can't speak on that. That does seem suspicious, that a young man would come up missing like that, and he was, dissing him at the same time. But that does not mean that he has something to do with it. It is suspicious. That's all I can say about that. I can't speak on that though, But yeah, that's crazy right there, man. That the young man was a young dude, man. We don't need to lose no more people, young or old. You know what I mean? For stupidity, especially for some money or some rapping or anything like that. But like I say, if you right or wrong, only time will tell when you're in that courtroom and all the truth come out. Cause sometimes the law can get it twisted, you know what I mean, and blame you for something that you had anything to do with, even though sometimes it might look like you had something to do with something. And that's why I say you never judge a book by its cover, y'all. But at the same time, though, that does seem kind of suspicious. So we're gonna keep going. Let's go.
This video at the Airbnb showed RW exiting the passenger side of the car and entering the Airbnb. A few minutes later, he left the Airbnb with a suitcase, got back into the car, and left. All of this time, Big U's phone wasn't reporting his data. Likely it was turned off, but then it started again at 2:15 a.m. And here's the thing, RW wasn't seen again. He wasn't even supposed to leave Vegas until the next day, but he never returned to the Airbnb. Instead, his body was found on the side of the road near Interstate 15. Investigators say he died from multiple gunshot wounds. They also noted he wasn't dressed for the weather. Remember, it's late January around this time. DNA collected from around his ankles pointed to RW being dragged into the desert off the highway. Witnesses told detectives an associate of Big U removed the video recording equipment from the studio a few days after the homicide, including video that would have shown RW and Big U at the studio before he was murdered. And there was probable cause to conclude that the footage from the DVR system would have shown an altercation between Big U and RW on the night of January 24th. And it seems Big U switched up on the rapper's extended family too. The victim's aunt told investigators she confronted Big U about arranging her nephew's trip out to Vegas, which Big U admitted to, according to the indictment. And Big U even called her on a weekly basis prior to the murder, then stopped.
Introducing Pluralsight's AI sandboxes. First, a prompt sandbox. Experiment with multiple large language models.
Stopped after the murder, and after she confronted him, she never heard from him again. Again, this was back in 2021. But remember how I mentioned this was a years-long investigation? By 2023, the feds were conducting a wiretap on Big U. He allegedly ordered witnesses not to speak with police about the murder. Like I mentioned, it's a lot. And when the indictment came down, federal agents claimed Big U went on the run. Then he published a series of videos to Instagram swearing by his innocence.
This is my last video before I turn myself in. I'm with my family. Talk to my sons, I talk to everybody, man. I'm just saying, going to deal with this fight, see what it is. I just want y'all to know, all this stuff is quagmire. Shit is all bull crap. I just need y'all prayers. I need y'all to... I don't even know what to say. Now, 21 years, I've elevated my family, come back, sit in here and write and do what I need to do until I can come back home. People are supposed to help me, I hope you help me. If you can't, you don't worry about it. A lot of stuff y'all hearing is straight trash. And I appreciate the love, and I appreciate people who've been helping me. I don't know. It's hard helping black people and not being hunted for doing it.
First Street, it might be to, I don't know if it's to the right or the left.
So y'all heard it from Big U, man. This is last interview, y'all, that he done before he turned himself in. And I'm just gonna come clean with y'all. I do believe that some people do get backlash for helping others, just like he said, y'all. I do have to agree with him on that part. Excuse me. I know some of y'all might not agree with me. You can leave comments in my comment section and stuff like that. You know, I'm just giving my opinion. I do think though that, just like he said, you do face some type of backlash though, y'all, when you are helping your own kind sometime, and others might take that as well, you only looking at stuff one way and not the world's way. Instead of you helping the world, you only helping people that you see in your eyes who need help. And that may be the outcome, y'all. But when you come from places where he come from, y'all, and you see the poverty and you see the struggle, why wouldn't you want to help others who look like you, when you know sometimes that they do need more help than others? You know what I mean? And I kind of agree with him on that, with what he just said, y'all, because I know a lot of people who need help, and when you do try to help others, you do get backlash, y'all, because others do not want to see them maybe in their areas, maybe they don't want to be a part of any violent activity, even though the people that you do help is not even thinking about violent activity. It's just the way they look. And sometimes, like I say, you can't judge a book by its cover, because you automatically judge someone that you see for the first time and how they look, and you base that on what you think that they might be capable of just by the way they look. And I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. You know what I mean? So I do kind of agree with him on that part, y'all. And when you try to help your own people, sometime you can face consequences for that, y'all, and that needs to stop, because I see everybody else helping each other. When you leave outside of Los Angeles area and stuff like that, and like I said, you start adventuring out to different cities and stuff, and you see different races and stuff like that. Even though I hang out with all different type of races, you know, I have friends from every type of race. I've been around people, talk to people of all races, but I do see other races by the hundreds really helping each other, building each other up in their communities, and they're steady building to the top, while, you know, certain other ethnic groups have to basically are separated, and they try to help each other the way they can, and it's like a struggle doing it that way, you know what I mean, versus other people, it's easier for them, you understand? So you can face some backlash to that, man. And all I can say is, you know, even if somebody judged me right now for speaking on this, that's y'all opinion. I have no problem with you feeling the way that you feel about what I'm speaking on, or what situations that you think that might occur if I was to help someone. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. People gonna think the way they want to think. At the end of the day, everybody human, and the way they threw this on him was like he's a monster. And I'm not agreeing with all of it, man. I'm not agreeing with all they saying, y'all. So I do want to see the outcome of this. This is getting deep though, y'all. So we got all the fraud charges. Now he said he got the murder charge. He got the RICO. And let me remind y'all, when you dealing with a RICO like this, basically everybody is facing the same charges, because they're all basically in the same boat, y'all. They put everybody in the same boat. So everybody on this RICO charge is in the same situation. And ain't that crazy? I feel like that law, that should not even be a law. Like, there should be people picket signs right now in the front of the federal buildings to change those laws immediately, because you could have something as simple as a traffic ticket and you could have said something over the phone that you had nothing to do with, and now they charge you with conspiracy, or however you want to call it, y'all, and put you in the same category as other people who they feel is really dangerous to society, and now you're facing the same charges as them. So that's kind of like double jeopardy to me, and I believe that law needs to be changed. I mean, that's a crazy law, y'all. I mean, that's real crazy, y'all. And if I was in that situation, or anybody else, how would you feel if you was in that situation? You know what I mean? And you was in that jail cell, and you're thinking, hey, you didn't do nothing wrong, but yet you're facing the same time as somebody else who did something wrong, or they're accusing of doing something wrong. You know what I mean? So we're gonna leave it at that, man. We're gonna keep going.
Reach out to anybody who can help me, y'all.
You hear me?
Help my own family. Appreciate y'all. Go. I'm looking at this video as I come in to turn myself in, and I'm disheartened by the fact that they trying to say that I stole something from Developing Option, or I used Developing Option as a front. Developing Option paid my bills. They paid my house note. They paid the bills for my family, the money I made as an employee for Developing Option. I never mixed that with nothing. I didn't manipulate nobody. I didn't steal nothing. We did PPP loans. We did 2 loans. And that's it, just like everybody else did. I didn't use no fraud. I didn't give none of fake names. And one of them we was paying back, and one they forgave. You know what I mean? And the other one we attempted for, and they didn't give us nothing for it. I filed my taxes, and them coming around telling me I was using Developing Option as a cover. Cover for what? None of that's going to be true. None of that's going to be true. The government putting this big picture, and they going to arrest 21 dudes. Some dudes I don't even talk to. I don't even know nothing about. So how the hell you going to lump me in with all them? But it's all the big picture, though. It's all the big picture. Now I'm going to be sitting in here. It's going to be years on my life. Then you going to get dudes who I don't even talk to. What they going to say? You ruining people's lives. I heard it's up with 21 people that's been arrested. It's wrong. It is what it is. Church, just pray for me. Pray for me, pray for my family. And you look at what we did. You look at what I did. I've been home 21 years. It ain't over, though. That's what it's not. Blessings.
And he had more to say, comparing his case to young thugs, but alleged music manager Whack 100 is working with the feds.
I'm looking at all these charges on the news. I'm headed back to LA. And then I'm looking at the people they arrested. How you gonna go arrest people that I don't even talk to? That's a built-in liar right there. You know what I mean? So, is that how they gonna work the case? Everybody know I don't with Kenny. Everybody know I don't with Brick Baby. So if you want to arrest certain dudes, and put them next to me, them is the dudes you gonna have to call themselves turning against me. Well, ain't no turning against me. I ain't going for that. You might as well go get 600 and whack.
Alright, pause, y'all. So you heard what he just said, and you heard what they said, right? They said that, see, they put words in Big U's mouth also. They said that Big U is saying that Whack 100 is working for the feds. That's not what Big U said, y'all. You see how they twisted that up? Excuse me. You see how they twisted that up? Big U was saying when they got Brick Baby and Loose Cannon, which are, even though they are from the same area, that they don't really get along. So, you know, they never even done anything together if they was in the same areas or anything like that. Basically, they're there to try to throw a ratchet in the game and basically say like they try to use them two against him, and maybe they could come up with some dirt to go against him while they're on trial. And all he said was they was better off getting 600 and whack 100. That's all he said. He did not say that they were working with the federal government, y'all. He did not say. He did not say 600 was working with them or what. He didn't say they not following them. He not keeping up with the law. All he's saying is that he was better off getting them two instead of Brick Baby and Loose Cannon. That's all he said. So see how they could put words in other people's mouth, y'all, and they will do. I just want y'all to pay attention to that, though. Real pay attention. Let's go.
These dudes been saying I did all year. So what they doing is they go on the internet and these dudes say that I did shit on the internet. Then when you say I did on the internet, they go investigate it. Now you raiding my houses, raiding my shops, raiding all this stuff, and talking about I'm committing crimes and covering up with developing option. What crimes am I committing to cover up with developing option? You know what I'm saying? I ain't committed no crimes. They cover nothing up with developing option. Crazy. But this how they get you. They get one or two people to say something. Ain't gonna be no real evidence. Ain't gonna be no real nothing. It's gonna be a repeated thug. It's gonna be a bunch of people in jail for a bunch of different crimes that don't have nothing to do with me. They're finna lump all of us up and say it's all the rolling 60s. Watch you see. We just seen it with Thug. I'm finna experience the same thing out here. I knew it was coming. Now they on there saying all this stuff to assassinate my character. Alright, man, just pray for me. And again.
Alright, now y'all heard what he said about and this is serious because like I said, y'all, you know how the government work, man. The government is real tricky, right? And you have to ask yourself, is it really worth you hanging around with some guys who you not comfortable with, and you feel like they will roll over on you? And that's basically what he's saying. He's saying that they're using other people, to try to accuse him of doing something. That's basically what they doing, y'all. So in other words, he's saying like the people that got indicted with him, basically some of them that's in that indictment were informants. You understand? And the reason why they are informants is because if they were not informants, this is how you know that 600 and whack 100, they done got nothing to do with Big U's case, though. That just, people just put that out there. Yeah, maybe they might say this or say that, but they not part of his case. No. The people that's part of Big U case are the people who is on his indictment. Now, are there informants that's some of the people that's been charged on that indictment that he's in right now? There has to be. There has to be informants that got indicted with Big U, and they're all indicted to make it look good. And at the same time, some of them will walk at the end of the day, and y'all gonna see that once they get started with trial. These dudes already had it planned out. They already done rolled and said what they said about certain situations, whether it's true or false, because a lot of these dudes be lying. I swear to God they do. A guy can make something up, y'all. He could already be in trouble and already be in a jam, and then he'll lie on you and make you look like you're that person or you're that man doing this or doing that, just to get himself out of situation that he's in because he was facing a long time, or she. was facing a long time. You understand, y'all? And this happens every day. So does Big U have informants in his indictment with some of the people that's on that indictment? Yes, there has to be informants on there. And when trial starts, he is going to learn who are the informants on that trial, because guess what? The informants is not going to get no time. They're not going to get no time. It's like they on vacation right now. They already had this pre-planned, y'all. It was already pre-planned. The plan though is to put Big U under the jail cells and maybe a few other of his associates and let the other ones walk. This is why they all got indicted together. But as time go on and as trial go on, y'all, you guys will see that there are informants on this indictment with Big U, y'all. So y'all, y'all dudes out there that's still in the streets and stuff, man, y'all just be careful about what y'all doing. You got them guys that go head over heels, and you looking at them like, well, why would you do something stupid like this or stupid like that? It's a reason why they do stuff stupid like this and stupid like that. Because some of them are the informants, y'all. So we gonna keep rocking with it. Let's go.
They can do any one of us. It ain't nobody safe with these dudes. These dudes feel like want you. How they going around talking about somebody's gonna raid my house before my house get raided? How they there with the police? And y'all sitting there following. Everybody is a part of them shows, and 100 shows, all them shows. And y'all need to, everybody who's following them, promoting them, anything. Y'all wrong. Y'all ain't black. And y'all showing for our people. They can put charges against anybody.
If you really want to be a CEO, want to be an entrepreneur, you should take the first step. Create the LLC. It doesn't really cost.
So this is gonna probably be my last video. I'm gonna go turn myself in.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard them say that y'all wrong for watching 600 and whack 100, because I guess some of the content that they put out there, y'all, it wasn't a problem at first, because it was all for content and for people to be entertained out there and for them to gain followers and subscribers and all that. And then you put two and two together, y'all, and it's like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, now that everything coming to the light and Big U is locked up, I mean, who wouldn't feel some type of way? You know what I mean? This is like the real, you really in the streets now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all know. I don't know none of these guys. I'm just saying, I'm speaking on my perspective about the streets, y'all. And when you go to the pen, when you in jail, all that stuff is real, y'all. You got guys up in there, you speak on stuff like that, y'all, and stuff happened to them guys up in the pen, y'all. You can't go to jail and go up in there. You could be in there for a traffic ticket. You could be in there for domestic violence. And guess what? You might meet your maker in there, because remember all that stuff you was talking about back in the day and speaking up on these dudes, man, and now you in the same situation that they in, and now they done caught you slipping. You understand? So yeah, man, jail's not anything to play with, man. I'm sure y'all know that already, y'all. And I'm sure some of y'all who don't know, man, I want y'all to just picture just a cell. These guys are in a cell, man, and once you in there, it's like the world forget about you, So I do see why he feel a certain type of way about them speaking up on him, and now he's being locked up and they're free. You know what I mean? I do kind of feel that, because in the streets you got codes in the streets. Y'all know that everybody, it ain't no telling. That's one of the codes that they got out there, right? And then there's another one. Hey, don't speak on this, don't speak on that, right? You're not supposed to do that, man. And for them associates that was close to him, that know him, because he knew both of these guys. For them to do that, I mean, I don't know, man. Do y'all think that's out of line? Y'all could comment, leave me some comments or whatever, man. I mean, but I do understand what he's saying, though, y'all, because I mean, there are rules. There are rules to every race, to every person with background who lives under certain guidelines and rules, and based on their activities, man, and some of the words that they have said. I mean, it ain't looking good for them, man, if they get caught up in there. The same as Brick Baby, and the same as Loose Cannon, and you know, they up in there. I done watch interviews with them speaking on situations with Big U. I done seen a lot of people speaking on situations with Big U, y'all. And I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it, and I'm giving y'all my raw, honest opinion. When I heard them speaking on it at first, I was like, I thought they was blowing smoke out their ass, because I'm like, man, ain't none of this stuff true, man, and ain't none of this, these dudes, you know, they podcasters, they going crazy to get content and stuff like that. And then now that I look back, it's like, well, where were they really setting him up to get locked up? Because, I mean, the Big U situation came out of nowhere. This started, about real heavy about 2 years ago, and they couldn't keep his name out their mouth. I mean, they all kept Big U this, Big U that, Big U that, and I'm like, why they keep bringing him up like that? Like, out of everybody, like, it could, I mean, a day will pass, a week will pass, and there is so much going on in the world that people will be talking about something else, and because there's so much going on, and then all of a sudden Big U name still gets brought up and keep being put back into certain conversations out the blue, and it's like, why y'all keep bringing him up? So now that he's indicted, it's all starting to add up and make sense, y'all. So like I said, we gonna see the outcome of this, man. And I mean, I don't know about these dudes, man. You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but we gonna keep going.
To see what's going on. They talking about him a fugitive. So they just raided all my houses. 600 was actually with the police when they raided my house. And he's actually got video and footage of it. So y'all know what y'all dealing with. And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about whack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all filed. All y'all who be sending shit around the internet.
Alright, y'all. So you heard them say that they was asking about whack 100, loose cannon, 600. Now, they didn't ask him, of course, because, I mean, he's going to go turn himself in at this point, right? Because he probably watched the news, or he got a phone call saying, hey, look, man, you want it, man, go turn yourself in, man. They got some charges trumped up on you, and you need to go handle that, you know what I mean? So with that being said, they probably said, with the officers, when he got his homes raided, they probably did ask around about whack 100 or 600 or stuff like that. But hey, don't pay that no mind, y'all. That does not mean whack 100 or 600 had anything to do with his arrest. The law enforcement will throw a wrench in there to make it look like it's certain individuals, and it might not even be those individuals, even though they speak on Big U situations, you know what I mean? But they're not the ones who got him locked up. And like I say, I know about federal government, and like I say, the people that got Big U locked up are on this indictment with him. They're in jail with him at this point, and he's going to see the outcome when he goes to trial and really see who's who, you know what I mean? When he's on trial, it's going to be known who's backstabbed him. That's all that you'll see. And it's not 600, and it's not whack. I mean, they got scoop on the outside or whatever. You know, they might know somebody who knows somebody, and you know, they're ahead of the game and know what's going to go on, or they had an idea about what's going to go on, you know what I mean? But by far, they're not working with the federal government, y'all, that got Big U indicted. It's not them. It's the people that's on his case, and y'all gonna see that. Let's go.
All y'all who be promoting and listening to what these niggas saying, all y'all giving these likes and hidden likes, all y'all supporting this. All y'all guilty of this. If you had something against a black man, You should handle it with a black man in the streets. Wack said 100 times he was gonna take my contracts. He working with the FBI. The FBI went to the city 3 days in a row and told the city they didn't want nobody to give me no more money. They went to all the different celebrities and told all the different celebrities, don't give me no money, don't help me, don't do nothing for me. They going around scaring and intimidating everybody. But y'all sitting it around getting people in trouble. Like y'all don't understand what the FBI do to black men who try to help their community. I ain't been nothing but a help to our community. But I guess it is what it is. This the price of being black and trying to help somebody, trying to help your community and do what you can. You're just guilty because somebody else don't like you and they can go on the internet and do what the they want to and y'all gonna promote it. It's crazy.
Alright, so I did hear him say, I mean, interrupt y'all anymore. I'm keep interrupting. So I did hear him say that Wack 100 was working with the FBI, y'all. And I'm here to tell y'all my opinion. I don't think Wack 100 is working with the FBI. I don't think that. It might seem like that by the way people talk and they try to figure stuff out about what's going on in certain people cases and stuff like that, and they know how to dig up stuff on the internet, and then you know the streets is talking to the streets how they own eyes, and they're talking and word gets back around about, hey, so and so has something to do with this or so and so has something to do with that, and then once they get that certain type of information, they put a twist on that also, whether it's true or false, to make it even seem more tense than what it already is, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't think that they're working with the FBI, y'all. I don't think that it works like that, you know what I mean? And let's hear him out. Let's hear him out, y'all.
But I'm going to go turn myself in though, because I ain't did nothing. This fact is, man, they done went to my house, kicked my houses in, bust my doors down, bust my window. They calling my son at his football practice, threatening him. You know what I mean? These dudes tagging him. What kind of is this? But y'all gonna be rolling with these dudes. And I got this last thing to say. Wack said he's gonna destroy developing option, right? So who gonna replace developing option? Which one of you in the 60s gonna call yourself coming in? Because whoever try to come in, y'all the ones that's working with Wack. Believe that. So remove me to get me out the way for somebody else to come in who gonna cooperate. That's what the play is. That's what the whole play is. I'm out. I'm gonna send y'all videos to put up, all of them until they lock me up.
Now, Wack 100 denied that he was working with the feds. As for Big U, federal agents say he did eventually turn himself in. But by that time, Vay and Bearclaw were already arrested, and 18 other Rolling 60 Crips and associates were federally charged. Big U was ordered to remain behind bars pending a detention hearing in federal court at the end of the month, and no plea has been entered yet. He's expected to be arraigned on April 8th. There's so many allegations laid out in this indictment. Let's bring on Detective Eric Barnes. Eric, it's always great to see you. Now, I do want to mention to our viewers, you don't have involvement in the case, but I got to know, what's your reaction to the indictment against Big U? He's accused of murder, running a mafia-like enterprise, and that's just kind of scratching the surface.
There are so many details to unpack in this indictment. Very well written, very well laid out, and definitely when you read the indictment, it definitely gives you a different picture than, you know, what Big U has displayed over social media and across the media networks.
Yeah, and it feels that way too, especially because it seemed like he was doing so much good. Like, he had the youth programs, the food drives, the mentorship. But according to the feds, on the flip side, he was still involved in, you know, the life. What do you make of just kind of this double life that the feds allege that Big U was doing?
Well, you know, it's been seen sometimes that people have a hard time cutting ties with some old friends and maybe even old habits that may drag them back into that lifestyle. Now, what remains to be seen is, you know, how, you know, these alleged crimes connect back to other individuals from his community. But I think that there is so many details that you have to. It's definitely worth the look, and just to say that maybe there's more going on than what he wanted to admit.
Yeah, and one of the things that kind of stands out in the indictment, amongst like other things, is just kind of this fear that he allegedly invoked on people in Los Angeles, like requiring people to check in with him for protection, or even these relationships that he had had with like celebrities, athletes, and rappers. But then at the same time, is accused of embezzling their money, including from big names like Draymond Green and Shaq. But what do you make of just him using these relationships to kind of prop himself up, but at the same time, kind of pull a double side and just kind of allegedly embezzle from them too?
I think everything is so close knit in the world of entertainment between rap icons and music legends and also sports icons. You hear often that rappers all want to play sports and professional athletes all want to be rappers. So I think it's all one and the same when you look in the entertainment world, because the money that you make gives you access to different types of people. And some of those individuals, if they still have ties to the criminal world, it's going to eventually show itself.
And do you think that he may have pulled the wool over their heads by kind of acting like their friend, but at the same time allegedly pocketing their money?
The first thing that I thought about when I read the indictment was, they mentioned all these other gang members that he was associated with. And, the entertainment check is not going to be enough to support all of those people. So, I mean, if they're going to be part of the entourage, he has to find a way for them to eat. And for what it sounds like, it was criminal activity.
Yeah, and to, run an alleged RICO enterprise, or what the indictment says, the Big U enterprise, obviously you're going to need a lot of people, and a lot of people that you may have known from the old life, a lot of people that you just feel more comfortable kind of, sharing more details of your life to them. But what do you make of just kind of what the feds are alleging as far as just the organization of this alleged enterprise, and just the fact that, a lot of people are also swept up in this indictment too, not just Big U?
In terms of just sheer power, they always say there's strength in numbers. But I think in terms of committing crimes, that also plays against you. There's more eyes, more ears, and more mouths that are involved in the business of whatever Big U enterprise may be. And now when you talk about RICO indictments, that means everybody that's part of the indictment is liable for every single charge that is in that indictment. So if the lower.
All right, y'all. So we not gonna keep going and finish the whole interview that they got going. Y'all just heard him say though that, and she made some good points too. She said that even though Big U's being accused of being part of the Rolling 60 still at his age, did he feel kind of comfortable with people that he knew, that he spoke with? You understand? That's why he hung around with them. So he probably could not have been active, y'all. It's just the people that he knew, he felt safe around them. He felt like he could tell them anything and be more comfortable with them. So he still associated himself with them. Now what this gentleman right here is saying is that everybody on the RICO charge is being charged with the same thing. And this is what I'm trying to tell y'all now. He's telling y'all in his own words that the informants are the people that's on Big U's federal indictment. They're already charged with him. And guess what their job is? Their job is to roll over on Big U to get him convicted by jurors of a federal grand jury and put him under the jail cell. That's all that is, y'all. And they get to walk, and they probably get a something else out of the situation also. Baby buddy, maybe a place to stay, a roof over their head with rent free for the rest of their life. Who knows? But all they wanted, it seems to me, is that they just wanted Big U, y'all. And like I say, was he a target? He could have been a target. He might not have done a lot of the stuff that they're accusing him of, y'all. Is just words from others. When someone else really wants you, there's a lot of influence that come with that, y'all. And it's like, well, how do I convince others that I'm innocent when half the people who's speaking up on the situation that accusing him of is saying that he's guilty. So how can you change people's mindset to make him think that he's not guilty when everybody's pointing a finger at him and saying that he did it? You understand? So it's a lot of influence come with this, man. And like I say, the jurors, the federal grand jurors, best believe they're not just going to be any grand jurors that's that's sitting in the audience and they're listening to the case case by case for each individual going on, and they're going to hear everybody's story, whether they're lying or not. And like I say, a lot of them could be lying on there just to put Big U under the jail cell, y'all. He might not have done this stuff that they're accusing him of. Who knows? We'll see the outcome. All I'm saying is, when the grand jurors up there, these people are going to be college educated, college graduates. They're going to be upscale type people. You're not probably going to even have not one juror that's like from the streets or from the hood or grew up in that type of environment who understands what goes on in the streets and what you could be accused of, and still try to change their mind about the situation and flip it to where they might not even be guilty, y'all. So it's going to be hell with the jurors as well as the people accusing him of doing whatever he did, because it's going to all come out when he goes to trial. So let's hear a few more words about what this dude got to say, and then I'm going to wrap it up, y'all.
Hanging fruit, or the guys that had maybe the least amount of criminal culpability. Now those guys are in a position where they have to do what's best for themselves.
Yeah, and speaking of that, when you're having an indictment of this sort, it seems like, the feds are going to need witnesses or cooperating witnesses, What are your thoughts on potential informants that may have been, in that organization potentially?
Yo, have you been injured in a recent car accident? If so, I want to give you a check like this for $50,000. All you need is
Anytime that a RICO indictment comes up, you have to have information from the inside at some point, and it could come from different sources. It doesn't necessarily have to be an informant that's mentioned in an indictment. It could be someone that they've dealt with in the past that's renounced the gang lifestyle, but they definitely have to have someone from the inside or someone that was in the inside at one point to kind of give insight into what was really going on.
Yeah, and
All right, y'all, we're going to wrap it up right there. You heard what the man said, y'all. He's basically telling y'all everything that you need to know. There are people on the inside who's speaking up on stuff and putting people names and stuff, whether they had something to do with it or not. These are the informants. They keep it going because why? They want to keep getting paid out here on these streets. They want to keep doing what they do so they can keep that money flowing in. However they get paid through the government, I have no idea. But I guarantee you, y'all, that the informants keep people name in their mouth that might not have had anything to do with anything, y'all. You know what I mean? And it came straight from this guy. He just told y'all what's going on. There's an inside source. This is why Big U is in an indictment right now, because of other people. Whether he might not even been in a situation. You got people on the phone talking, hey, yeah, man, this and that and this and that. They going back and forth, tossing his name up, as well as podcasters. Y'all hear them all the time on the podcast speaking about him. So you never, like I say, you never know who the informants was, y'all. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, man, when you out there, even if you're not active, and it's a lot of guys who come out of jail and they change themselves around, man, just watch and be careful and really listen who you talk to, and be careful who you associate yourself with, man, because you could also be in Big U's shoes if y'all not careful, y'all. You understand? And we gonna wrap it up right there. Like to my channel, man. Subscribe to my channel. Handle your business. Give me some likes, and we gonna end it right there, y'all. Let's go.